Hello and welcome into the Skraby Show for January 28th, 2026. Thank you for joining me in the Bill House studios. We know how. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Mostly, I decided we're going to go in the rumor mill department because I've already talked about the real stuff that's out there for the Padres, but I've seen a few articles proposing different trades and saying, oh, the Padres should get this guy or the Padres should get that guy. I also saw, and I'm not going to play the audio, but our sister station in New York, WFAN, put up a video talking about how the Yankees need to trade for Fernando Tatis Jr. right now. Get away from our guy. I don't get it. Stop trying to trade for Fernando out there. He's not available. The GM already said he's not available. So stop it, please. I do not want to keep seeing all of that stuff. Man, it makes me annoyed because it's just like, I don't think we go on here and we just pick out a player and be like, Padres should go and trade for that guy and they should give up all the prospects and all of that stuff. So, I mean, it just is a little, it angers me just a little bit. People are saying they can't hear the sound on the YouTube. You can watch on YouTube if you would like. You can go to 97.3 The Fan on YouTube. You could also go to at the Skraby Show on YouTube. You can go to 97.3 The Fan SD on X and at Matt Skraby on X. If you guys can hear the audio, please let me know. All right, tonight I just found this article. Chris has been talking about this Alabama judge that signed off on a player able to play college basketball after playing pro basketball. There's an update on that. We also are going to talk about, and I made the name of the show California Burrito Crisis, because there is a price crisis amongst California burritos in San Diego right now. Like, I went to go get one a couple weeks ago, and I looked at the price of that California burrito, and I said, I will go and get a bean cheese rice burrito because I need to take out a small loan these days to get California burritos. So we'll go over some of the places in town, what their burrito cost a couple years ago, what their burrito costs now. It's much different. And there are some reasons for it. We'll also talk about the Buffalo Bills head coach Reddit stream that I was looking at. And then Sacramento Kings did something that is kind of backfiring in their face. So we'll talk about that as well. Cole said the price of food in general is insane now. Yes, it is. It's very insane. I bought some turkey for like lunch meat. It's like $11. $11. It was a lot. Whew. Man. All right. This one comes to me from Sports Illustrated. And as we said earlier, we got to take Sports Illustrated these days with a grain of salt because some of it is AI written. But I came across this morning and I thought it was interesting, but I didn't think it made much sense to me, really. But this Sports Illustrated article is talking about how the Padres would be good. No, it wouldn't be good. The Padres should try and reacquire CJ Abrams from the Nationals. I'm not sure why this is coming up, but it was interesting to me because CJ Abrams, he's developed a little bit while he's with the Nationals. He's become a everyday player in Major League Baseball. I don't understand why they would go after him because they've already traded him once and they've already got a shortstop. So what the plan would be is keep Xander Bogaerts at shortstop, put CJ Abrams at second, and put Jake Cronenworth at first. And I don't even really know if Jake Cronenworth feels or likes playing first base. I guess it's not really something I should be concerned about, but moving him over the first, you get CJ Abrams at second, you get Xander at short, and then you have Manny Machado at third. I don't know that this would make much sense for the Padres to do. It would help them with their second base and first base situation, but I don't know that they have the draft or the prospect capital. I don't know that they are going to give up a major league ready player for CJ Abrams. So I wasn't, when as I was reading this, I thought, hey, this might be a fun reunion. But then the more I read and the more I thought, I don't think that CJ Abrams coming to the Padres would be a game changer. It would help for sure, but it wouldn't be a game changer. Uh, I also, and I hate to bring this up, but I've seen over the years some things about CJ Abrams off the field, not anything too crazy, but he was out at a casino all night when he had to play the next day. So maybe not the best person to bring in. Now, if that's the worst thing that he did, then he's obviously not that bad of a guy. But it just I don't know where this comes from. I don't know where this stuff comes from. Also in the article, they mention Nick Martinez is still out there on the free agent market, which Nicky Tight Pants, he pitched pretty well for the Reds last year. I'm not sure what he would want for money. I'm not sure what he wants to do, either starter or reliever, but he was a hybrid starter last year. He had a tough year last year. 4.45 ERA across 165 and 2/3 innings. He had a much better year the year before, but he did start the most games of his career last year. He started 26 games. So that is a ton of games. Maybe he just wasn't, ready for it through the entire season. But if Nick Martinez comes back to the Padres, I would be happy about this, as long as he's pitching well, obviously. But I like Nick Martinez. I think he's a great teammate or he's a great guy in this clubhouse. And we've seen him be able to pitch pretty well over the years. So I wouldn't be opposed to having Nick Martinez come back to the Padres. I would not be opposed whatsoever. But I wonder if he just wants to be a starter, which there is a spot. There's a fifth spot in the rotation if they wanted to bring back Nick Martinez. I also don't know if the Padres are willing to pay him top dollar. I know that he left the Padres to go to Cincinnati because they paid him some good money. But last year, he made $21 million. Or that was the qualify. I'm sorry. That seemed crazy to me. The last 2 seasons, he's made 2 years, $26 million. I mean, $21 million was kind of insane. So I'm glad I checked myself on that. But $13 million a year, hey, you get that you Darvish money back on the books. That's 16 mil right there, and you have 3 million left over. So, I mean, we just made it. We just made the deal. He did actually get paid. I'm sometimes Spot Track. I don't know if people use it. Sometimes Spot Track is a little confusing because they don't actually have the salary. But he did sign a qualifying offer with the Reds in November 18th, 2024. So he did make $21 million last year. I don't know if the Padres are going to pay that. I don't think the Padres are going to pay that at all. But hey, we can dream, right? Maybe he'll bring down his price and he'll rejoin the team, and Nicky Tight Pants will be back with all of us. Yeah, that's it for the rumors. It's just that time of the year. We're almost to spring training, but we are not close enough yet to get like real news. Diesel says Joe Musgrove, Michael King, Nick Pivetta, Nick Martinez are all dogs. Can you imagine? I can't imagine. I like that. Nick Martinez was great when he was here. Very intense. I don't remember if people know his Red Bull story. Like, he told us a couple years ago when he was on the Padres, to get amped up to come into a game, he would like chug 2 Red Bulls or something like that, and he would just be amped right before he went out there. I don't know if he still does that, but he was definitely ready to go whenever he took the mound because he was caffeinated, and Red Bull gives you wings, I've heard. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about this Alabama judge that Chris has been all over the last maybe week or so. We're also going to talk about the Buffalo Bills and some of the Reddit responses, because, I love reading fan responses on Reddit. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it. And so I'll bring you some of those when we get back here on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan.
New year, fresh starts. And fresh food starts at Fraser Farms Market, your natural grocer since 1971. From organic produce and butcher-cut meats to pantry staples and chef-crafted meals, everything you need to eat better in the new year. Planning healthier habits, hosting friends, or just stocking up for the week? We've got you covered. Start the year off right. Shop fresh and local at Fraser Farms Market in La Mesa, Oceanside, and Vista. Fraser Farms Market, a better way to shop for a better way to live.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEG 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Hey, it's Ben Woods here, reminding you that San Diego's best place to play cards is also its closest. 7 Mile Casino offers Texas Hold'em poker, California-style blackjack, high gal poker, and baccarat.
Make sure you get in on the weekend for their award-winning brunch from Sammy's.
It's so easy to get to, you don't have to drive into the East County. Just head down the 5 freeway to Chula Vista, get off Bay Boulevard right there on San Diego Bay. It's our place. Make it your 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We have a great pool and spa in our backyard, but my parents cleaning it themselves wasn't working out. Then they hired a random guy, but it was always dirty.
Dude, it's just algae.
Finally, they got it right by hiring GL Pools.
At GL Pools, we know you worked hard for your backyard, and so will we. Contact GL Pools today and mention radio for 1 free month of pool service up to $200 in value with no contract, no commitment. GLPools.com, local to San Diego County and family owned since 2006. That's glpools.com.
This January 31st, make your unused tech matter. It's Tech the Halls presented by Computers to Kids. Tony Gwynn Jr. here, ambassador for C2K, inviting you to be a part of a one-day electronics collection drive benefiting students in need. Bring your used working and non-working computers, phones, laptops, tablets, and other devices and turn them into powerful learning tools. All electronics accepted. January 31st, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Snapdragon Stadium for C2K's Tech the Halls collection drive. Learn more at c2k.org.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save 100...
All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Matt Skraby, Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan. Chris is going to be back with us tomorrow for Gwen and Chris, so don't miss it. I'm sure we'll get into a couple arguments here and there. And we will have another Skraby Show tomorrow night. No more Skraby Show on Friday. During the break, I got the push notification from MLB, and they have named their top 10 starting pitchers in baseball for this year, coming into the year. And I will just tell you right now, there are no Padres on the list, which is very unfortunate. But number 10, Hunter Green of Cincinnati. Number 9, Max Fried of the Yankees. Number 8, Hunter Brown of the Astros. Number 7, Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Dodgers. Number 6, Garrett Crochet of the Red Sox. Number 5, Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies. Number 4, Chris Sale of the Braves. Number 3, Zach Wheeler of the Phillies. Number 2, Paul Skeens of the Pirates. And number 1, Tarek Skubal of the Tigers. So Tarek Skubal took the top spot over Paul Skeens, which I guess makes sense, because Tarek Skubal did win the Cy Young back-to-back. Back-to-back. I wanted to make sure I got that right, and he did. Okay, so this Alabama judge story. Now, Chris brought it to us because the men's basketball player in question is Charles Bediako. He had an eligibility lawsuit that against the NCAA. He has played some level of professional basketball, but he now is going back to college, and Alabama's like, please come to our team. Come on, let's go. Come to our team right now. And so he did, but he had to go through a court process to try and get cleared to do this and everything. Well, the original judge of the Tuscaloosa Circuit Court, James Roberts, he was the one who said, this is okay. We're going to let you do this. This is all good. But the problem with that was that James Roberts is a massive Alabama fan and a massive athletic supporter. So there is some sort of conflict of interest here. James Roberts wants his Alabama team to be good, but he's also a judge. He cannot make decisions to make Alabama basketball good. So you know what he did today? He finally listened to everyone, and he recused himself from the case. So he is no longer in charge of this. The case was reassigned to Judge Daniel Pruitt, an Alabama graduate. Like, can we find anybody else other than Alabama? You know what they should do? They should definitely put an Auburn person, like an Auburn judge in charge, because then Alabama wouldn't get anything. But this is what they said about, this is what the NCAA said about the original judge taking the case and not recusing himself until today. But, quote, courts in Alabama and beyond have widely recognized that a mere appearance of partiality is sufficient to require the recusal of a trial judge. This appearance can be compounded by widespread media and public scrutiny, questioning the trial court's impartiality. Despite the NCAA's confidence that the court can disregard his connections to the University of Alabama and its athletic programs, recusal is still necessary to protect these proceedings from an appearance of impropriety. Now, no one, Bediako's attorney didn't oppose the motion or anything like that, so they're all good because they're going from an Alabama judge to an Alabama judge. But this judge is already dealing with, he's overseeing the murder case involving former Crimson Tide player Darius Miles. So he obviously is a serious judge who does serious things. So I'm kind of giving them a hard time when I say find someone new from Alabama. But I'm glad this happened because the judge could say all he wants, that he was giving a ruling, an unbiased ruling, but I don't believe that for 1 second at all. I don't believe it for 1 second at all. It's just kind of crazy with this whole thing with NIL and changing teams, and it's just getting crazier and crazier as we go. Like professional basketball players now come into play in college, but college basketball players still making money, which I agree with. But if you go to the professional ranks, you should not be allowed to come back to college. And you were paid and you play games and all that stuff. You should not be allowed to come back to college. You have decided that you are going to go and be a professional. So, judge recused himself. Maybe we'll get some fair stuff going forward. Okay, so the Buffalo Bills, they hired Joe Brady, and they gave him a 5-year deal. Now, personally, my thought on this is that Terry Pegula, the owner, made an irrational decision to fire Sean McDermott. And as Brent Zableski said earlier, the actual firing of Sean McDermott is okay because sometimes you need a new voice in the room, which is true. But it's the plan that they had after that didn't make it much sense to a lot of people and a lot of Buffalo Bills fans. It didn't seem like they had a plan. And their fallback, I guess, was to promote from within, which I do love, but I don't think this was ever their real intention. They wanted to go and get a big name coach, I'm thinking. I know Brian Dable interviewed. I know Phillip Rivers interviewed. And Phillip Rivers, took his name out of the hat. But Joe Brady, okay, so here's what people are saying on the this comment section is insane. These people are so angry about this. Some people are very happy about this, but the main thought process here is that they don't believe in Joe Brady. Here's one of the comments. I'm not going to lie. These stats make me more comfortable with Brady's promotion. I know the eyeball test tells me to have concerns. Why don't you stop running screens to get tackled for loss on 3rd and 5? But I'm more comfortable now after being reminded that it's always been the defense's fault for playoff losses. So that's one of the thoughts there. What another person said, I do not like Joe Brady calling plays from the field versus the booth where he is used to sitting with Josh when he is supposed to be the head coach watching the game and being the CEO of the game. Take the play sheet out of his hands. So we got some more of that. Just a simple comment right here. We are now becoming the Jets, which is hilarious. Can we please get a new owner who knows what he's doing? Is another one. This is delusional. Hold on, this is not really English. This is delusional. This isn't a delusional state. I'm not even going to read that one, but it's delusional in saying that Josh Allen, is going to be great at throwing screens like every play, basically. I didn't watch enough of Bills football this year to know if he was throwing a bunch of screens, but apparently fans are very upset with the screens. Here's another one. What has this OC done in the past 3 years? So people don't like it. People there's over 200 comments about this. And I kind of feel their pain. I do kind of feel their pain because they had Sean McDermott. They had, I'm not saying that he was the end all be all, but they were close to the Super Bowl so many times. This year was their year to try and get in there, but they didn't. And so I do kind of feel bad for the Bills fans there. I don't think they're going to get back in they're going to get to the Super Bowl in this next season. But again, I make predictions that, I'm always proved wrong. Here's the last one. Oh, wow. This one's against Josh Allen. It says, Josh Superman Allen, when he's not When he is not busy throwing the ball away, he is dumping it down or he's taking big hits. I bet you Josh Superman Allen, they said it twice. I bet you Josh Superman Allen handpicked this coach, and this is why we will never win a Super Bowl. There you go. There is a ton of really great stuff out there. I love those comment sections. Let's see. Dominic says, are there really many big name coaches in the game anymore? Many teams go with the new blood. You make a good point. There's not many good big names out there right now. I guess Mike McCarthy, but some of these new coaches are going to make a mark for themselves. I even saw someone. No, I can't. I don't want to go in that direction. I self edit. KG makes a good point. Listening to football fans gripe really makes me understand where some of the wackos in our own fan base get their bad habits from. Hey, I don't think it's just the Padres fan base. I think it's all fan bases. I do this Reddit thing all the time. Trevor says, how about a receiver core for the Bills? That too. Josh Allen has not had the greatest surrounding cast, but Dominic goes on to say, also, I never understood looking for retread big name coaches who are available because, they got fired. I'm kind of with you on that as well. Would I want a coach with experience over like a one of these coaches that just got hired? Unless I got the John Harbaughs of the world. Mike Tomlin's not going to be a coach this year, apparently. I there's not that great of names out there. Trevor says if he had Diggs, he may have won. Maybe. All right. I'm reading some chats and seeing if I could bring anything else to the show. All right. When we get back, it's time to get into the California burrito crisis. I got an email this morning and it said crisis among California burritos. No, that wasn't actually the title, but it did lay out something, and I want to lay it out to everyone else when we get back here on the Skraby Show, 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and
That's Skraby back with you here in the Bill House Studios. We know how. 97.3 The Fan. If you want to watch, you can just go to YouTube, search at The Skraby Show, or you can search 97.3 The Fan. You can also listen on the Odyssey app. All right. I am glad I made it back in my seat, but I had to go in the back room where we usually do our prep, and I was editing something because I started it back there and I didn't want to deal with it over here. And for some reason, I forgot I was doing a show, and I was just having fun editing, and then realized real quick, oh no, you have to go back to your show, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing? That was a major brain malfunction right there, but we're here. We're all good. And we're going to be talking about California burritos. I think everybody loves California burritos. I don't know. Well, Eric on the chat says he doesn't like the French fries in the burrito, which is the best part of the California burrito. We'll get into that in just 1 second. I got to tell you what's happening in Sacramento. So, Sacramento Kings, they are trying to sell tickets to their games in any way possible. And I think it's a good idea what they're doing, but I also at the same time, I'm like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing. This is kind of embarrassing. So there's a Costco in the Sacramento area that is now selling 2 tickets to upper level Kings games. And they're charging you $59.99 for this. So you can get 2 tickets for $30. It doesn't seem so bad, right? I don't think it seems that bad. Well, if you go online and you look at the secondary ticket markets, you can get 2 tickets for about $26. So you don't even have to go to the Costco and buy these $59.99 tickets, because if you go on a secondary market, you can get 2 tickets in the upper level for $26. I think the idea of selling these tickets in a Costco is actually very interesting for a team that doesn't, is struggling to sell tickets, because I think that there would be people that are walking around Costco, maybe getting full on all those appetizers or the free food, and then be like, you know what, I want to go to a Kings game, and then buy the $60 thing. So don't buy the $60 thing, because you can get it for $26. The Kings have always been a weird team for me, because when I was growing up, like, the Kings were good, but not for a lot of the time that I actually paid attention. Once I moved down here is when they got good with Peja Stojakovic and teams like that. But I've never understood why the Kings can't be more popular. I don't know. Anyway, that was a weird tangent that I just went on, but I wanted to bring you this Costco story because it was hilarious that you could find one for $26 instead of the $59.99. All right, let's get to the California burrito stuff. Now, I got an email this morning talking about California burritos, and of course, I'm going to open an email that is talking about California burritos. When I first moved to San Diego in 1999, I met a kid here. He was like, let's go to a taco shop. Didn't really know what a taco shop was because I was little and grew up in the Bay Area. We went to the taco shop. He got a California burrito, and I got a California burrito. And I could not believe that there was French fries in the burrito. Could not believe. I was like, this is so strange. Why would you ever put French fries into a burrito? And then I ate it, and I realized the heavenly taste of a California burrito. And I have loved them ever since. I don't buy them as often now. I probably only eat 4 a year at this point because I'm old now, and eating California burritos will make me large, and I'm on SD fat loss, so I can't really be eating California burritos. If I had a metabolism that would, make me skinny, I would be eating California burritos every single day. Every single day. But I don't know if I can afford them anymore because this email lays out how a price of a California burrito in San Diego has gone up over the years. And I remember when I was in high school, we had Rico's taco shop that we used to go to. Rico's actually sold burritos at La Costa Canyon for lunch, so that was always delicious. But Rico's was like the place to go. And I, really came to enjoy the Rico's California burrito. But I started branching out. And I realized that each California burrito is different size, different ingredients, all of that stuff. Well, here it is. The numbers of how much more expensive California burritos are in San Diego now. And I'm sorry to these businesses, but this is what their studies looked at. So, and I don't blame the businesses that much for raising their prices because I'll tell you why California burritos are so expensive in a second. I was looking at the chat. Dominic says, honestly, when I go back home, I go for one of those, bad tacos from Jack in the Box before a California burrito. That is wild. I do love those tacos, though. They don't have Jack in the Box in the West. I guess they don't have Jack in the Box in the East Coast. Now I'm thinking about it. They don't. Anyway, here we go. Harry's Taco Club. Never heard of this place. But in 2020, it was $9.95 for a California burrito. Now in 2026, $15.99 for a California burrito. Difference in 5 years. Rubio's Coastal Grill, $8.99 in 2019, and it went up to $13.99 in 2026. That's a $5 increase on the California burrito. Lolita's, we used to talk about them often. California burrito, $7.75 in 2020. That's a great price for a California burrito. $7.75 in 2020. It's now $13.45 in 2026. And then you got Roberto's, $7.80 in 2019 to $11, around $11 in 2023, and now to $13 in 2026. And now Lucha Libre, this was on, I believe, the Man vs. Food show back in the day. And I've been to Lucha Libre a couple times. There was actually a bar right next door to Lucha Libre. I cannot remember what it was called. But my friends and I had a friend that lived right next door. We used to go there. And it was a mess. But then we would go to Lucha Libre. In 2021, the California burrito, $12. In 2026, $16. So as you could see, right in here, prices of California burritos are going up, and it's going up a lot. Now, what they're saying is that the reason the prices are going up so much is because the ingredients cost a lot more. And so I understand this. I do. Like salsa from June 2021 to June 2025, up 37.5% cost. Tortillas up 34%. Sour cream up 29%. Cheddar cheese up 13%. Beef up 10%. And then for some reason, potatoes went down 6.2%. So that's great for potatoes. But mainly what they're saying is that the beef shortage is the reason that these California burritos are so much, because the other ingredients aren't really costing you that much, but it's all about the carne asada that you're getting, and that's why it's so expensive. And I will say this, the restaurants are not taking advantage of us, because the burrito increased overall 20%. The cost to make a burrito increased 20% from June 2021 to June 2025. And if you add guacamole to your burrito, the price goes up 21.3%. I do always wonder why guacamole is so much more expensive, but it goes up 21.3%. That's basically it. That's basically it for why the California burrito goes up. So my question is, what is a cutoff price for your California burrito? My cutoff price has been like $12, 12, 13 bucks. Like that would be my highest level price right there. Because I don't think a California burrito is worth $16. I don't. And I will tell you one more thing. I actually forgot to mention this. There are two burritos that while they got more expensive, they actually got heavier. And I can't find where it is. Oh, the taco stand. I can't find where the other thing is. Oh, the taco stand and Lolita's got heavier over the past 2 years. And yes, they apparently weighed burritos for this story. But if you are on the chat, please let me know. Gonzo says guac should be in every burrito. Trevor says, was that your deep dive? Actually, I was going to do a deep dive, but I was not done with it, and I did not want to bring a half-done deep dive. So we'll maybe do it tomorrow. Rod says cutoff price is $17. Oh, Eric has a good point. It's the mandatory $20 minimum wage. They didn't even mention that in the story. They just mentioned the ingredients. I think just the ingredients are making it go up, too. Rod says $17. Chris says $12. Kayla says that La Perla number 3 is still $12. See, $12 is fair. Gonzo says the price of burritos has risen so high, I usually go to a combo for best bang for my buck. I like the combo food stuff too. I'm not a $15 cutoff for Clay. Eric says $13 for his carne asada burrito because he doesn't like French fries in his burrito. Kayla says, back in my day, a burrito was $7. Shaking my head. Seems like people are willing to pay a lot for a burrito. I am definitely not willing to pay more than 12 or 13 bucks for a burrito. 15 for Kayla's. I guess everybody's going to be paying these prices. And I didn't bring this up to like expose the Mexican food restaurants here. I just brought it up because I went to go buy a burrito the other day and I saw that a burrito was $16 and then I got this email. It was almost like they were following me and knew where I was because that does happen quite often. But if you have any good burrito places, you can go ahead and put it into the chat and let everybody know. But I'm going to have to take out a loan to try and get this burrito. I'm going to have to take out a loan to buy a burrito. All right. I went through that a little bit quicker. I'm not going to lie than I thought I was going to. I thought I had more in the burrito, whatever I'm trying to say here. Here, I'm going to be self-serving right here. I saw this earlier. I didn't get Tony in his opinion on it, but former 49er Dre Greenlaw, he's now with the Broncos, and he said the transition to Denver was tough because Sean Payton and Kyle Shanahan are very, very different. And I thought this was interesting because I didn't know that teams still did this, but it says, Dre Greenlaw said, quote, Sean's old school. He's going to do 6 days on, 1 day off. He's got his way of doing things. You're going to be practicing 3 hours on Wednesday, 3 hours on Friday. Shanahan, he's the complete opposite. And I know these guys used to practice all the time, but now they have rules and regulations as to why they can't practice, or they are in shells, which means that they're not in full pads. They're just in their helmets and their shoulder pads. I personally think that Kyle Shanahan, this is easy for me to say because I'm biased, but I think Kyle Shanahan's style is doing it right. You got to rest these guys. You cannot be having them go 6 days on, 1 day off. That's a lot. Practicing 3 hours on a Wednesday and then 3 hours on a Friday, and then you got to play a game on a Sunday. I guess it really didn't affect them because they ended up going to the AFC Championship. But it sounds like you would get worn out if you were a Denver Bronco player. And they also play in the altitude. But I was surprised to see that Sean Payton, of all guys, has his guys practicing all the time. And if Dre Greenlaw said it was tough, I know it was tough. I see a lot of comments about the food, so we're going to go back to the food. Oscar says, try Penelope's Mexican food on El Cajon Boulevard. Carlos says, the French fries overpower the rest of the ingredients. I could barely taste the carne asada. Wiener Schnitzel chili, I can't say that word. Wiener Schnitzel chili cheese fries burrito, $1.99. Oh, and Kayla says, I've never had Wiener Schnitzel. I love Wiener Schnitzel. I can't say that word. That's a really hard word to say. The shit. Whoa. I just don't. I meant to say the schnitz, but I ended up saying another word. So maybe I should get out of the Wiener Schnitzel word because I almost just got myself fired.
What's annoying Skraby today? Let's find out. It's time for the Daily Gripe.
I did dump that to the chat. The people in the car didn't hear what I said, but just know that I mispronounced the word schnitz. Schnitz. It's not Ed McKee's fault. I should have been careful when I said that. Ugh. That was I don't even know if I want to tell the guys about that. Because they're going to be like, oh, I love it. I love it. Let's go play it. Let's go play it. Charisma says, OMG, Skraby. All right. Adam just texted me and I was scared. Our boss just texted me and I was really scared to see what he said, but it had nothing to do with what just happened, thankfully. All right. My daily gripe today is this. I'm forgetful sometimes, especially after a long day. I'm forgetful. So I came out to my car this morning and both my front window and my side window were open all night because I did not close the windows when I got home. And I am very lucky that nothing happened to my car. People are really getting all about the word I just said. Anyway, I left the end of the show right here. Ever since I said an accidental swear word, my brain is all a mess. But my daily gripe is that I'm forgetful and I left my windows down last night. At least it didn't rain. No raccoons jumped in. And I guess no one went through my car. I didn't see anything missing. So I'm very lucky. I just have to go and make sure my windows are up. It's better than leaving the garage open all night, says Rod. I've done that too. I've also been a guy who has locked my door and then gone back to check 6 times because I am kind of a weirdo. All right. That's it for the Skraby Show. I'm going to go make sure I got that dumped. And we'll talk tomorrow, as long as I still have a job. Have a good night, everybody.